So let's start with DXY first. So DXY, last week it was there. So let me just tell you what happened last week. I mean last week as in, when the election was happening. So the week starting with, if I just quickly go, the week starting with 2nd of November, we had DXY as high as 94.28, and see what's happening today is as low as 92.715. So that's trading for you guys. That could happen, in terms of market momentum. So currently, price reaching again. I do expect DXY to keep dropping back to lows of 92.65, which is this support level here. And once the DXY reaches this level, I think because we do have a quite important news tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow, in coming weeks. I think DXY would be at this level by end of Monday. So on Tuesday, when we get the retail sales coming out from US, because this is a very important news in terms of for stocks. Reason is if retail sales plummeted because of course rising coronavirus cases all around the world. So if we see the retail sales plummeting, that would give DXY a push upwards. And so I could see, by the time price reaches this level and by the time the news comes out on Tuesday, it would be a turnaround for DXY and would be a new momentum for DXY. And DXY could be moving back to the highs of 93.21 by the end of this week. We could see DXY as high as the next week. Sorry, could see DXY as high as 93.80. So keeping a close eye at DXY, guys. I think is gearing up to make a really big move because last week was really slow. In terms of trading, because the previous week was really volatile. And, of course, we also, when the market moved, when we found out that Biden has really won the election, the market really went berserk. But compared to that, afterward, there's hardly been any momentum in market. Market just been, just going sideways, not really momentum. This is basically what happened in the market for past few weeks. So just waiting for market to really, move about. So I do expect in the coming weeks market will start picking up pace again, because really and truly we only have few weeks, we only have about 4 weeks of trading left before the market really dies out and Christmas holidays starts to come. Christmas holidays and then December hits. So in about by 15th or 16th of December, usually market dies out, and the next 2 weeks of December is always dead in trading. So there's hardly any momentum. The only momentum you're going to see is mostly GBP pairs, GPSD only. And, last year market only moved about 10-15 pips a day, sometimes 5 pips a day. So really and truly only a week left. So I do think this week is going to be really and truly 4 weeks left, around a month left. This month is going to be really, really volatile in terms of trading. I do still expect DXY to, close the year as high as 94.28. Because I do think Biden victory is a short-term boost for dollar, is something that dollar would something that will help dollar to grow, because Biden policy is more of a currency strength rather than towards a corporate strength. So his policies will give a corporate tax hike in corporate, which will in terms people will start selling the stocks, and that will give us quite a strong momentum in dollar. So we do expect dollar to rise by the end of this year, guys. So outlook for next week, dollar is going to rise. Quickly go to the GPSD. So GPSD currently, of course, we all know is rising, but we do have a deadline coming up for Brexit. So that's something we have to really watch out for. The reason being is we might have heard that, Brexit deadline might get extended. That's definitely going to happen. If that happens, and we might have heard that, Cummins, the advisor, the aide, closest aide to Prime Minister, just resigned. So it resigned, I think, yesterday, but the market will be getting affected by it on Monday as the news comes out, as we find out why did he resign and who's going to replace him, because market is waiting to find out who's going to replace him. Because if someone who replaces him is anti-Brexit, is someone who's gonna anti-Brexit as in doesn't care what EU deal offer, they just want what they want. And if that happens, that would tank GBP. So again, Brexit deadline looming, that would move the market on GBP. So GBP, guys, if Brexit deal doesn't happen, or the deal is not reached by end of this year, or by end of the deadline, and deadline has to be extended, we're going to see a massive drop in GP, because it happened about 2 weeks ago, and GP really plummeted. It plummeted about 300-400 pips on the news that Brexit deadline is not met and there might be disagreements between them. So again, a news that says that there'll be disagreements in Brexit, GP is going to plummet back to lows of 1.3074, or even as low as 1.2940. So keeping a close eye on GP, but overall I do think GP is bearish, because I do not think there'll be any Brexit deal happening this year. Is most likely is going to get extended to next year, and the more it drags out, the more it's bad for GP, and the more it's bad for the UK economy, because a lot of big companies will start moving out from Britain because they have no clear indication what's going to happen. So they most likely are going to move out, and that's going to affect in GP pound value. So overall, I do think, again, next week outlook is, I do think GP should fall back to at least we might see a retracement back to lows of 1.3179. This is a decent support level. If GP does hold at the support level, then you might see another bounce back to the highs of 1.3278. But I do not think GP actually is going to rise next week. I do think GP is more of a downtrend rather than an uptrend. I'm quickly going to look at gold before I move on to news, important news. So again, gold has broken above. As I said, I've been saying last week on all my daily watch lists that gold is going to rise, and it did do that. I do think gold is still going to rise. It needs to hit this 1900 mark for us to really know what gold's going to move, because gold needs to hit this 1900 mark and needs to break above this 1900 mark for us to be really in a bullish territory for gold to keep rising, because I still have a firm belief that gold could rise by 2,000 points, up to 2,000 points by end of this year. And that's not far, guys. Only 100 points from 1900. So, gold did fall on 9th of November. It did, Monday, when market opened and we found out the vaccine news, that day gold plummeted about 100 points. So that's common. So that means gold could rise 100 points. So if once it's 1900 mark, we could see gold actually hitting 2000s very, very easily, guys. And 2000 is a very strong resistance, guys. So once the price at 2000, we are going to see what's going to happen in the market, because I do think gold is not going to end. It's not going to close below 2000 by end of this year, because if it does, then it's going to be seriously bearish next year. So if gold is looking to go any longer than 2000, it needs to close around 2000 mark by end of this year. And for it to do that, it needs to start making moves right now. So I do think next week, gold is most likely going to be quite volatile in terms of trading. I think gold is going to pick up pace, and gold trading will pick up pace as well. Overall commodities will be picking up pace, such as silver, gold. Those commodities will be picking up pace next week. And I do think gold going back above 1900. So I do expect gold to break above 1900. Could happen at the start of the week, could happen by end of the week, but I do believe that gold is going to break 1900 and will move up to the highs of 2000 by end of this year. So keeping a close eye how gold really moves, because that could give us a really good entries. Could give us really good opportunity for us to enter the market and catch massive moves on gold. So some news that we, again, as I already mentioned, core retail sales will be a quite important news. For GP, we have a CPI, which is similar to core retail sales for UK. So again, important news because of the rising coronavirus cases. Plus, this is the first CPI since the lockdown has been introduced. So we will see that how this lockdown is affecting the overall economy of GP. And again, if the news is bad, that's going to tank, pound more. Also, we have a Euro CPI similar to GDP. So again, everything that would come out from these news will affect pairs directly. Then on Thursday, we have the massive news that every Thursday we have is existing home sales. That's going to be really important. Plus, we have this initial jobless claims, which did, drop last week, but we do expect the increase of jobless claims this week. So if that happens again, that's not good for dollar. And if might see if initial jobless claiming, it could be good for dollar in the short term, because what will happen is people will start selling stocks, because stocks is all-time high. Let me just show you what's happening with stocks right now quickly. So this is US 30 is all-time high when the day when Biden won 9th of November, it opened at it opened at nearly 30,000. That's all-time high for DJ30. So again, if those news are bad, retail sales is bad, and existing home sales, jobless claims, they are bad news. That what will happen is we might see it to drop back to it might drop back to lows of 2885 and 28,885. This is support level here, and if that happens, that will push dollar upwards. So again, that's what I'm saying. Dollar looks like it's going to have a quite strong run next week, because I do see a lot of bad news for US, and this also going to affect the stock market. And if the stock market drops, what happens short term? Dollar rises when on a short term basis, not long term. If stock market is dropping, dollar is going to drop as well. But on a short term, for about a day or two, when then the stock market starts dropping, dollar starts going up. So again, those are the massive news for next week. Not really volatile in terms of news, but we do have a lot of technicals supporting. So for example, a technical here, a support level, strong support level for DXY. So I could look to, short GBP/USD and EURUSD once the price reaches level of 92.65. So I'll be looking to sell GBP, sell Euro, because I do think Euro is reaching a strong resistance, which is this resistance level here of 1.1838, because we can clearly see whenever the price does reach here, it drops. So again, most likely next week when the market opens, we could see Euro dropping back to, lows of 1.1798. And if that breaks, it could go back to lows of 1.1782, which is also a 61.8 Fibonacci support level. So keeping a close eye how the market really affects those pairs. Guys, again, if you have any pair that you're currently in, or if you have any pair that you want interested in, please do let me know now so I can do analysis for you. Or if you have any other questions about trading in general, you can let me know now and I can help you with it. Yep, US dollar looking really, really strong, guys, next week, because we can clearly see USD JPY reaching a very strong support level. I'm quickly going to check some USD pairs to see what we could see a strong momentum upwards. Again, USD CAD looking like it's going to break above this strong resistance level of 1.3161, which has been trying to break for quite a few times now, for example, for over a week now. So again, looks like USD CAD will finally break above this level and will rise back to the highs of 1.3232. So dollar is looking like quite strong next week, guys. Gold, as I already said, I do expect gold to break above 1900, because we can see that market did close in kind of a bullish shooting star, which is this candle here. So market did close in a bullish shooting star. This could be an indication that next week there will be much more buying pressure for gold, because again, bad news will make investor run towards safe haven commodities, which are gold, which is a dollar. Those are safe haven commodities or forex pairs that usually investors run towards. Again, JPY is one of them. So again, any bad news from US or around the world will affect gold, and gold will most likely rise as investors run towards gold, and they invest in gold when there's a issue around the world economy. US 30, that's the US 30. So US 30, you can clearly see that is all-time high. So for it to break this all-time high, it needs something really positive. I do not expect Biden to say anything like that for now. I do not expect any policy to come out. So I do think US 30 is all-time high, and we might see some kind of a down momentum. It is made up like a double top, double bottom. You can clearly see one double bottom, second double bottom. This the neckline. So neckline is around here. We can clearly see if the neckline breaks, then yes, we could see US 30 rising very strongly, guys. If this neckline breaks, so let me tell you, this is the neckline of 29.63. This is the neckline that US 30 needs to break. As long as this neckline is there, I do not think US 30 will go any higher than this. All right, guys, thank you so much. Thank you from iPhone. I don't know the name. It says from iPhone. Thank you from the iPhone. Plus DXY testing the support. Yes, it is testing a quite strong support now. So I do think DXY is about to make a move upwards. I do not think that dollar should be dropping this much. It's quite realistic, to be honest. I did think that dollar will be actually as high as 93.82 by now. But it's very strange for dollar to drop, because Biden victory was a bullish sentiment for dollar overall. But quite strange. But I think just the market momentum, the investors knew that most likely people are going to be, buying dollars. So they just, plummeted dollar. But overall, as we can see from USD CAD and USD JPY pairs, that dollar is ready to move upwards. So I do think next week is going to be really big for dollar. I do expect dollar to rise quite strongly. Thank you guys for joining this live Zoom call. And again, if you have any questions about anything related to trading, please do let me know. You can always text us. You can always, let us know. And we are more than happy to help you out, guys. Thank you so much.